It was the moment we kind of hoped for. A lot of us for the wrong reasons, come on people. But we saw it on Raw tonight. Randy Orton RKO'd Alexa Bliss. But there was so much more we need to discuss. Firefly, Funhouse, Bray Wyatt, Alexa Bliss related from this week's Monday Night Raw. And there's a lot of things you might have missed.
Ring around the Rosie.
We got an amazing segment from Alexa on Raw. Of course, Alexa's playground returns. Can't wait. Couldn't wait to see what she had to say. And it was great. Note, for the first time, it was actually backstage. This is like the ring they use backstage where they do some interviews and stuff. Obviously, you've got like the LED boards around the ring. Really looks really cool back there. And I think they should definitely do more backstage Alexa's playground. It just looked amazing. But note, while it's bright and colourful on one side, the other side is dark, eerie, and black. Really, really cool. Of course, the Firefly Funhouse TV made an appearance in Alexa's playground this week. It showed Alexa what's previously been going on with her and Randy Orton, and of course recapping last week with Alexa versus Asuka. During the segment, we saw multiple faces of Alexa. We saw that this weird incarnation of the Fiend was trying to emerge from Alexa Bliss. Really, really cool. Note as well how she basically touched the swing. She was saying she couldn't wait to see him again. Really, really fun again. I love it. Genuinely love it. It's just so much like hitting you at once. So much information and Easter eggs. It's really, really cool. This entire segment was topped off once again with another sign perhaps of the Fiend emerging in Alexa Bliss. And we have to talk about the song. You heard it at the start of this segment. Ring Around the Rosie is what Alexa Bliss basically sang tonight. I did post a video onto Twitter. Not sure if WWE would have removed it yet. It's over 10 seconds, therefore it's not eligible for copyright under fair use. But the song itself, Ring Around the Rosie, is a song based on the Great Plague. Rosie being a rash that developed on the skin when someone had the plague. The stench of the rash then needed people to conceal a pocket full of posies to cover the smell. Now, if you watched on Thursday, we released this video asking if this was Bray Wyatt's inspiration for the Firefly Funhouse, an old show called Uncle Andy's Funhouse. Is it a coincidence that throughout all of that, everything we spoke about on Thursday, you can now add Ring Around a Rosie because it's the game Uncle Andy Kaufman, was playing during the episode of Uncle Andy's Funhouse we spoke about. Just in case you missed it, WWE has announced Bad Bunny will be performing live at the WWE Royal Rumble 2021. His hit song, Booker T. Of course, WWE have connections. I'm pretty confident Bad Bunny is related to Firefly Funhouse puppet Ramblin' Rabbit. It just makes sense. It really does make sense. The next big thing to talk about is, of course, what Alexa Bliss described the WWE Raw Women's Championship as: a toy. She said she had a chance to win a shiny new toy, and that's exactly how we've seen Bray Wyatt talk about the championship belts in the past. He literally pulled the Universal Championship out of a toy box. For him, it was nothing more than a prop, and it's really cool to see that Alexa thinks the exact same way, because it shouldn't be about championships with a character like this. It should be about the story. It should be about that moment. And honestly, that's all it is. And I'm so happy for that reason. It means it doesn't matter if Bray Wyatt, if The Fiend, or if Alexa Bliss wins a championship belt. Because eventually when they win the belt, they have to then lose the belt. And it doesn't matter, because they genuinely don't care. WWE Shop has released a brand new Firefly Funhouse t-shirt. It's amazing. This is genuinely my favourite Funhouse t-shirt that they've made. I believe the art is made by an independent artist, and WWE have obviously bought the rights to use it like this, and I'm so happy. You can also buy it in a massive poster form. They really know that this is amazing. It's got all the funhouse characters, including Bray and Alexa, including the Fiend, and all the puppets on it. It's genuinely brilliant. Once again, Little Miss Bliss was in the main event segment for Monday Night Raw. You can tell they know right now Alexa is money. Now, interestingly, she came out to the Firefly Funhouse song, not her entrance theme song at all. They did as well use the 8K camera this week for her entrance, which they actually didn't last week, which was quite surprising. During the match with Asuka, of course, Alexa kind of just laughed everything off. This was Funhouse Alexa, or we now call her Playground Alexa, and she was very much acting like Funhouse Bray in just taking pain and laughing about it. During the match, we saw the Rockin' Horse make its in-ring debut during a wrestling match. Yowie wowie. Of course, the Rockin' Horse was there in the center of the ring when the camera panned back around. But more importantly, we saw the goddess, Alexa Bliss. Now, we all expected the transformation to become like the Fiendess or something, but this was not expected at all. But it does add the whole dynamic of the story that she's being possessed by Bray Wyatt, by the Fiend, and she's not willing to be doing this. And it's really awesome the way they portrayed it, because she sort of came out of this trance, old attire, old hairstyle, and everything was just shocking. She looked confused until she went into the corner and kind of just knew what was coming, sort of took a deep breath and accepted her fate. And I like that, because this basically is going under the possession story, which makes sense that then very, like, next second, she was the Fiendess Alexa. She was this immortal goddess, if you will. And once again, she was willing. Once again, she was confident. And everything we'd recently just seen had faded away. And she basically did the exact same thing as last week. No sold. Everything Asuka threw at her. She was able to block punches, block the kicks, you name it. Fiendess Alexa is amazing. The commentary team talked about the multiple layers to Alexa Bliss. It's definitely that. It's definitely multiple layers, definitely multiple faces. But interestingly this week, she did hit Asuka with a mandible claw. I know I didn't get a good screenshot of it at all, but she did hit Asuka with the mandible claw. You can see the rage in her face, much like the Fiend when he hits the mandible claw. He's screaming and shouting about it. Now the question is, what happens to Asuka? Asuka has now officially been in the mandible claw. I really did not expect it to happen this soon. We saw last week Alexa attempt the mandible claw and Asuka block it, and we made a video to say, is there a character change coming for Asuka, after she posted on social media song lyrics that resembled change. The video was up on Saturday if you want to check it out. But after this week and actually being in the mandible claw, you got to think now it's only a matter of weeks until we see a new face or a new persona of Asuka on WWE Raw. John Cena has a new Elite figure coming out from Mattel in Series 10 of the Legend series, which is exclusive to Target in the United States. It is based on the prototype John Cena character, but of course you can see the head there, the separate head. It's from the Firefly Funhouse, so you can modernize it, and it comes with a Devil Vince puppet. Believe it or not, it is different to the one that came with the ringside exclusive Bray Wyatt. Of course, it has the old WWE logo on his sweater. Honestly, brilliant. Absolutely love it. But the big news this week was Randy Orton. We kind of expected it. Some of us wanted it for multiple reasons. This was the catalyst. If he attacked Alexa, that could piss off the Fiend. Well, he attacked Alexa Bliss. Now, this makes a lot of sense. Last week, Randy Orton said that he had no interest in Alexa Bliss. He said he did not blame her for what she had done. Instead, he blamed the Fiend. Now that makes genius sense when you think, if that's the Fiendess, it was only last week after the Randy Orton promo that we first saw the emergence of the Fiend in Alexa. He's seeing that. If he identifies Alexa Bliss as the Fiend, of course he's going to target, because he blames the Fiend. Genius. Absolute genius storytelling there by WWE to sort of tie it all back in, but yet that story remains the same. Some people on Twitter are really angry because last week he said he wasn't interested. This week he RKOs her. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Worth noting as well, Randy Orton not wearing any kind of mask this week. Maybe that's a permanent feature. I always thought and hoped he'd get one. Obviously WWE going to go a different route. You can still see the burn marks on his face. But the major question now has to turn to, will the Fiend show up at the Royal Rumble? It looks likely. It looks likely he's going to want that revenge against Randy Orton. Of course, Orton said last week how basically the Fiend wanted to cost him his opportunity to win the Royal Rumble match itself. Makes sense now the Fiend would do just that. So hoping for Bray Wyatt, Fiend, whatever new character he might portray, return this Sunday. But there you are. They are things you might have missed. Firefly Funhouse, Bray Wyatt and Alexa Bliss related from this week's Monday Night Raw. It was the go-home show for the Royal Rumble. We will be doing predictions later this week on the channel, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Let me know anything I might have missed in the comment section down below. Of course, if you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, turn on those notifications, like the video, share the video, follow me on Twitter at CWrestlingUK. And I'll see you next time. Peace!